What's up, New Orleans? This is Comedy Central Stand Up Presents. Please welcome Josh Johnson.
Cool. This is New Orleans, so I know you guys party. Is it just me, or is the mark of a good party always something bad happening? You know, no one's ever like, oh my gosh, that was a great party last night. We all drank just enough, got home safe, and woke up in time for breakfast. That's never the description, ever. It's always like, great party, Bill died, great party. That's a fantastic party. Somebody need to call Bill Mama. He dead. I'll talk to Bill like that. But great party. The first time I ever went to a fraternity party and a girl twerked on me. I fell down because I wasn't ready. She was just backing up. I didn't have time to bend my knees or catch a wall. She's like, oh, but great party, though. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me or just my general demeanor, but I am not an alpha male. I'm not an alpha. I'm not even a beta. I am 3 before omega. Like, I've been called a little punk to my face before and been like, well, that's your opinion? Like, and I know I'm lucky to be a millennial, because if I had been born even 10 years earlier, I wouldn't have lived this long. I know that because I was back at home in Louisiana for 10 minutes before I let a possum climb me, all right? It was just coming right at me, and by the time I realized it wasn't like a little squirrel that wanted to play or something, it was hanging off my belt, okay? I don't know if you looked a possum in the face in person before, but its face is an actual demon. It's the most horrifying thing you can look right into. So now I'm trying to hump it off as hard as I can. Just bend my knees and dig deeper, because I don't want to touch it. Everybody knows you touch a possum, get bit by a possum, you become a possum. That's just science. So now I'm trying to hump it off as hard as I can, but it climbs onto my shoulder and chirps in my ear, and not the cute Pocahontas like, meow, meow, meow. He's like, oh, immediately. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's how I died. I didn't know I died so young. I thought I'd live longer, accomplish more. And then my friend slapped off my shoulder and saved my life. Have you ever had your life saved when the stakes were incredibly low? I got to go on a date in college, which was big for me. I don't go on, you know, I don't get to go on a lot of dates because I don't know how to talk to people. But the date was good. We went to dinner, and then went to a movie, and then we went back to my place. Okay, and guys, I'm gonna go there with you. Okay, I'm gonna get a little nasty. All right. We were kissing, okay? We were kissing, all right? But then, in the middle of kissing, she told me that she wanted me to choke her. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have arthritis in my hands. So I couldn't talk up how I was about to choke her. I'm about to choke her. She's about to find out about me, you know? So I was trying to talk up how bad I was going to choke her, make her feel like she was still into it, you know? So I was like, baby, I'm going to choke you, all right? Because that's what you want, because that's what you need. But it will feel like a turtleneck. There's nothing I can do about that. No, baby, you're going to get choked. You ask me choked, it's choking time, okay? I'm even shake your head and scream in your face while I choke you. but you will feel safe the entire time. You will feel totally safe. There's nothing I can do about that. I've been trying to work out so I can have a man's body. I am a extra medium. I have always wanted to be big, and it did not work out for me. I just want to have those broad shoulders, you know what I mean? Like that, like. So I've been working out, but joining a gym is too easy. You know? I just gave them money, and they let me start working out. But I don't know what I'm doing. So now I don't know what I'm doing next to heavy stuff. Nothing changed. I gave you $25. You know, like I was trying to do some deadlifts, just pick it up, put it back down, because build up the legs. Because you don't want to have a ripped upper body and tiny legs. And my legs, if I were wearing shorts, you would be distracted, okay? You'd be like, oh, he might be funny, but I can't hear him past the sound of his knees shaking. So I was trying to do some deadlifts, just pick it up, put it back down, you know. And so I'm standing in front of the bar, but no one even told me that the weight had to be even on each side. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm bent in, got the legs open, and trying to put my back curled, or whatever you're supposed to do. And I'm gripping the weight. I'm trying to psych myself up like I can really lift this weight. And right then, the most beautiful woman walked up next to me. I'm like, now I gotta pick it up. I can't just be like, that's not mine, and then walk away. Like, I gotta at least try to pick it up. So I'm gonna try to pick it up. So like, Eye of the Tiger's playing in my head, and like, Rocky's behind me with a stroke face, like, you can do it. Like, I feel like I might really be able to pick this up. And so I go to lift it up, and the most unrecognizable sound leaves my body. Because I go to pick it up, and immediately I'm like, I've never in my life made that sound before, but I go to pick it up, and I'm like, that's not mine, and I did anyway. I just walked away. So, and then I tried to redeem myself later by working out next to her like I make that sound all the time. I was just doing curls next to her later, like. Didn't work, she just left. I've always wanted to be good at sports, ever since I was little, be really good at sports, impress my friends and stuff. But I'm such a theater nerd that one time I was talking about football and forgot the word quarterback. And I saw him and I panicked. I saw him and I was like, oh, he plays the lead. He's not one of the understudies on the bench. He's a star. He's the best one. I only played football once. I was 10 years old. Little league, made me a lineman. That's the right response. Because now it's my job to protect the main character. This isn't even the part that I auditioned for, all right? I would have loved the role of team manager or something backstage. But of course, the kid across from me is the black dude from the Green Mile, so he's the biggest person I've ever seen in my entire life. And they blow the whistle, and he hit me so hard that there was a divot in the ground where my shoulder went in. I got up, I didn't even tell anybody that I quit. I just started walking off stage. I started walking up, I was done. Took off my football costume, because that's what I called it. I was done. I wasn't gonna play more, but then the director runs up and gives me a speech about being a quitter. I was like, obviously, sir, you didn't see what just happened, okay? I might be 10 on my right side for the rest of my life. And then they make this big kid come up and apologize to me, which he shouldn't have to do. You know, it's not his fault. I should be also playing Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or something. But he walked up to me, towering over me, blocking out the sun, leaning over me, and was like, I'm sorry. It's like, that's interesting. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're all 10 here, sir. Why are you 32, okay? I didn't even make it to intermission. There was no way I was getting through 4 acts of that game. I was done. I moved on to basketball, which was a different mistake. I thought needing height to play basketball was a suggestion. It's not. I was walking home one day, and these kids on the public court asked me if I want to play a game of pickup with them. And I don't know, I ran home and ran back real fast, because I don't know if you play pickup with a bunch of strangers, but it's like having friends. I was very excited. So I ran home and ran back some shorts that were far too short. I was out there looking like a dad, just like, you're not getting past me, buddy. Are you not gonna, no. It's one of the worst mistakes of my life. This kid, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, jumped over me and dunked. I'm guarding him, and he just flew away. Which should be against the rules. If he's allowed to fly, I should at least get a knife to cut an Achilles or something. Like, you're not gonna fly over me twice, sir. This dude jumped over me and dunked the ball so hard that he cracked the glass on the backboard. The ball hit me on top of my head. I hit the ground. He hung there for a second and then landed, straddling me, got his face this close to mine, and was like, ooh. He dunked on me so hard that night I dreamed he was my dad. Like, I've never been more terrified. I don't know what my problem is, I'm gonna tell you guys something, because we're family. Okay? I'm gonna tell you something I don't tell a lot of people. I don't even feel black some days. I feel like an alien that snatched a black bite and didn't do any research at all, didn't do anything, didn't read a book, didn't watch a movie, doesn't know what Boys in the Hood is, but loves trains. Like, I don't know if I haven't had enough dates for a grown man or too many dates for someone who's autistic, because I'm definitely on the spectrum. I talk about sharks too much on the front end of the conversation. I do know what one of my problems is. I lived alone too long. I think everybody should live alone and be single for at least a year, get to know yourself, right? Get to figure yourself out, because maybe it's you. You get to live alone, get to be single, get to figure out what's going on in here. But if you do it too long, you just evolve into a monster. Just have a downward spiral. The first few months of living alone that you live alone are the most liberating months of your entire life. And the next months of living alone that you live alone are the most depressing months of your entire life. I had the weekend off the first month I ever lived alone. I was like, ooh, looks like somebody's gonna be naked for the next 3 days. I gotta wear clothes for nobody. I'll be naked over here, it's gonna be great. I had that same weekend off 6 months later. I was like, what's the point of clothes? Now, I knew I was depressing my friends. I started getting gifts that were purely just to keep me alive. I just started getting puzzles left and right. My one friend, he gave me a cake, which would normally be nice, but he gave me too much cake. He gave me 7/8 of a huge, huge chocolate birthday cake. And I think in his head, he was like, this will keep him alive at least a week, and then I've done my part. I can't babysit. But living alone, being single, that's too much freedom. I need a girlfriend or a roommate now just to shame me back to reality. You can do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want, no consequences, anytime I want. I got in the shower with an umbrella to see how it would feel. You looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. I got naked, all right? Got in the shower, turned the water, and lifted the umbrella. It's like, it does feel like rain. Will someone call today? Oh, it's just like being outside. Except I control the weather. So there came a day where I was at home alone, had the weekend off from work, by myself, just eating the cake. No fork, no knife. I am just grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth, and grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth. Also, didn't bother to take the cake out of the fridge, and so I'm leaned into the open fridge, grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth, and grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth. Cake is also not on the top shelf of the fridge, and so I'm bent over in front of the open fridge, grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth, and grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth. I'm naked, by the way. I've been naked all day, all right? So I'm naked in front of the fridge, grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth, and grabbing cake. I'm still very wet. The umbrella did not cover me fully, all right? And so I'm wet, naked, grabbing cake and putting it in my mouth, and grabbing cake. The light from the fridge is the only light in the apartment. So I'm making sad shadow puppets behind me as I'm grabbing cake, wet, naked, putting it in my mouth, and grabbing cake. And right then, someone broke into my apartment. I knew somebody broke in because the light from the hallway melded with the light from the fridge. I was like, that's too much light on me. I don't know what's going on here. And so they see me bent in front of the fridge, but they can't see the cake. And I'm not chewing, I'm just pushing. So globs of chocolate cake are dropping in between my wet, naked legs, just globs and globs of chocolate cake. And I turned around to look at them, and they politely just closed the door. And I ran after him, too. I was like, no, wait, don't, because I don't want to be robbed, but they're going to tell people about that, you know? I'm already the dude in my apartment complex with no friends. I don't need people thinking I poop next to the fridge. I'm a good person. I'm trying to be a good person. I feel like the person that you are in a split-second decision, that's who you really are. You know, when you don't get to weigh the options or worry about what people might think, you know, that snap decision, that's you in here. I'll give you an example. I was walking down the street in New York. This dude was walking down the opposite side of the street from me, just texting and walking in his own little world, just like texting and walking. And then he walked out into the street, but he didn't have the light. And cars are coming right at him, and he has no idea because he's still just texting and walking, just in his own little world, just texting and walking. And then without thinking, I saw a car that was like coming right at him, and I just ran for him as fast and as hard as I could and tackled him out of the way of a car and ended up saving his life. And not 8 hours later, I grabbed an old lady by the face so I didn't fall down. The same person did both those things in the same day, all right? Not a full 8 hours later, okay? Not a full shift at Denny's later, I'm walking, and I slip on a grape because I'm a child, and as I'm falling, I reach for anything to keep my balance, okay? And I'm not looking, but I know it's a face, all right? I knew it was a face immediately. My finger went in her mouth, okay? I fish hooked an old lady so I didn't fall down. And why should I? I'm a hero. I actually got the cops called to my apartment last year because my neighbor thought that I was killing my girlfriend. So I had to explain to the police, not only do I not have a girlfriend, but it's just me in here. Sounding crazy enough to be two people. All right? And in my defense, I was losing a fight to a ceiling fan, okay? Let me explain. We've been to the moon. Okay? We use a little piece of glass to talk to other people on the other side of the world if we choose. We're about to have self-driving cars, but there is still no clear indication when to stop pulling the drawstring on a ceiling fan, all right? So now I'm chilly. I was warm before, now I'm chilly. I would like ceiling fan to stop because I'm chilly, okay? And it's just going... cops come, right? So the cops come, and they don't arrest me, but they feel real sorry for me. All right, guys. Guys, thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson. Thank you so much.